How are you, Mike?
First of all, The Maintainer is a sequel to The Equalizer.
Is that right? Where I go around, and for people who have trouble maintaining, I help them maintain.
You don't hurt anyone. You just maintain them.
Well, no, I do
them alive.
You're
the opposite of the Equalizer. You're the opposite. You keep people alive because you maintain them. But I like that. That's better.
You know what? So without the vigilantism is what you're saying. Without the vigilante style.
Exactly. You are not a vigilante. You are a maintainer.
Well,
that is a great nickname. That's going to be the next name on my fantasy team, The Maintainer.
The Maintainer. Hey, by the way, I'll be your avatar. Certainly, since we're in the Bleacher Report family now all together, Mike. And you've been with Bleacher Report since 2013, when people were probably wondering what you were up to, doing that sort of thing.
It has been really an amazing ride, and I'll just make this brief. When Bleacher started, it was a very unique idea, but a lot of people didn't know what to make of it. And then it took this dramatic turn towards a lot more journalism, a lot more of everything. And now it's, I've worked at the New York Times, the Washington Post, Boston Globe, Dallas Morning News. I've worked at a lot of really good places. It's one of the best places I've ever worked. And because they really focus on stuff that I like really good journalism, really good writing. It's been a remarkable ride and transformation. And I feel like this is just, not to get all sappy, I'm going to start crying, but you have been one of my favorite guys. A lot of people in my business who come on your show just really like you because you're just a really good, honest dude. I think I'm gonna cry now. I'm sorry.
Are you telling me to live long and prosper?
I gotta gather myself.
Mike, are you telling me to live long and prosper right now?
I'm telling you to live long and prosper.
Okay.
This is the other reason I love coming on your show is because you get my stupid Star Trek.
I know. Okay, so let's get. By the way, thank you. And again, we here are thrilled to be part of the Bleacher family and BR Live, and look forward to how we can all work together. So, are they going to make any changes to the instant replay system, do you think, to make sure what happened in the NFC Championship game never happens again? Do you think that will actually happen over the next 24 hours, Mike?
We're still waiting to see, Rich. One thing, though, is I know there's been some reporting on this, and I've heard the exact same thing, that Sean Payton, as you would guess, just one of my favorite guys in the league, by the way, just a really good, smart coach whose Saints got royally screwed last year in the playoffs. So obviously Sean Payton is still upset about that, understandably, and he's been really passionate and vocal behind the scenes about trying to get some changes done with that. There's always, you know this, you've been around the league a long time, there's always resistance initially to certain changes, to change in general from a league that moves at times at a very glacial pace when it comes to changing on many different levels. And some of that is happening now. I think there's just owners that are sort of a little bit nervous about doing anything drastic. But having said that, I think there's a lot of support behind it. I don't know if any changes are going to pass or not, but I think there's owners who realize that you need to sort of modernize the game and make the game advance as people's viewing habits advance. We can see very easily now, if you watch a game on TV, what the proper call is now. Most people are so educated in a lot of the calls, you can see what's going on. So you have to account for that. You can't just act like it doesn't exist.
I know, but
that's the thing.
And I know, and that's part of the issue here, where one of the more influential owners, and John Mara, says, we shouldn't take the onside kick and turn it into a 4th and 15 play from either the 25 or the 35 because they're not the Arena League. To me, that's out of touch. And then you've got coaches who vote unanimously, apparently, at their meeting, 32-0, to let some official that's already sitting upstairs make a ruling on a play that needs to be reviewed, sort of like a sky judge, like the AAF has, which I don't like because I don't see a challenge flag. I'm sitting at home, and then all of a sudden I think a play that doesn't get challenged is being challenged by somebody that buzzes in from some, from underneath, Zed's chopper shop. You know what I mean? Like that's
right.
what I'm saying. Like we don't know, we don't see where this person's coming from. Let's just let the coaches, I know they've got enough on their hands, but let them use a challenge flag. Keep the challenge universe the same. Just two get you the third. You don't expand that. And that if you do give them a challenge for something that's a judgment call and they get it wrong, then penalize them yards on top of losing the challenge. And boom, you make the last 2 minutes some sort of rule where it has to be a blatant call to have somebody buzz in from New York City. And then we have an argument what blatant is, but we all know what blatant looks like, sort of like the famed phrase about what pornography is, for the lack of a better phrase. I think we can all work this out, Mike.
I think you just did.
Good.
I think you just.
Well, makes two of us then.
Figured it all out.
That's it.
But the problem is the league and one of the interesting parts of this is coaches used to always be the ones that wanted to move very slowly because they were more affected directly. They had to manage all these changes that owners and GMs will put in place, and coaches always wanted to move a little bit slower. Now I feel like the coaches are sort of leading the charge. Some of it is self-centered, of course, because if you lose a game the way the Saints did, that is brutal. But I think it's what Sean Payton and some of these other coaches are doing is smart. It's really just sort of saying, let's just keep moving forward into the modern, into the 21st century. Keep the game interesting. Keep it moving forward. And you know what, though, Rich? I would say what the owners are thinking in some ways is look at how popular the game is. Look at it. I mean, have we lost some viewers? We have. But look at the numbers we're getting. Look at how many people watch. And I don't want to screw with that. I want to keep that going the way it is. And that's not an unfair argument, but eventually that stuff catches up to you, and eventually you do have to adapt and keep just saying, this is the 21st century. Let's change some things up. Not going to kill us. It'll probably make the game more exciting, and it won't look like the Arena League. It'll look like the NFL football that we love because they have NFL caliber athletes who make the game look as powerful, as fun, and as graceful as it is at times.
Couple of more minutes left with our Bleacher Report compadre, Mike Freeman. All right, walk me through the way Arizona is either going to make a decision on Kyler Murray, or if you think they've already made the decision they make with Josh Rosen, Mike.
I think this is a really compelling problem for them. Everything I hear is they're taking Murray. I mean, we're still a little ways out, Rich, and things change on a dime in everything in this league, especially in the draft. But they really like him, and I got to say, there's not much to not like. I mean, he's 5'10", so what? I mean, the way the game is played now, that doesn't matter. He's really smart. People who know him and know his family really, really speak incredibly highly of him. I think Arizona sees all of this and thinks we need to get this guy. I don't think they're convinced, this regime, this coaching staff, that Rosen is their guy. And I think they're more than willing to go with that number one pick with Murray. That's the way it seems now. As you know, this stuff changes crazily, rapidly. But Murray has impressed almost everyone in the league who has come in contact with him, who's worked him out, who's really in position they love him. So I don't see how the Cardinals go any other ways, but crazy things happen in this league.
Well, if they do that, then they have to draft him and then make an announcement that they've traded Rosen on the spot to exact the draft choices in that very same draft, right? They've got to have something in their top right-hand drawer to pull out the minute that they give Murray's name to the commissioner.
Yeah, I think when they do that, I think Josh Rosen will be playing somewhere else, and there will be takers. There's people who like him. They think he's got a good future. So there will be ways to make this work out, and some teams will be very interested. And who knows, it could happen before that, but probably something like very quickly you draft Murray, you trade Rosen, and then you're good to go. And I think that's the way what they should do, only because I think Murray has a much, much brighter future especially the way the game is played now. His mobility. I'm not saying he's like Mike Vick. I'm not saying he's fast, but he's very capable of just moving around in the pocket. He's great at this. The way the NFL is changing, the way the NFL is played now, wide open, not as physical. He's perfect for that. That's what he does, and I think the Cardinals see that.
Mike, thanks for the call. First of many. Appreciate you being here on our first day on BR Live from Bleacher Report.
All right, I need you to do one thing for me. I need you, Rich, to live long and prosper.
I shall do that, Mike. I shall do that. I'm giving you this
maintainer.
Maintainer.
Let's go.
Take care, Mike. That's at Mike Freeman NFL right here on the show.
The Rich Eisen Show, weekdays at noon Eastern on Audience.